I first came to Sag Harbor, to this community in Sag Harbor, when I was in college. When I went to Howard University, and one of my sorors, I'm from Delta Sigma Theta sorority, had a cousin who had a house out here. So, we were young college students. We were going to the Hamptons. And we come out here to this amazing Black community in the Hamptons. Nobody had told us that existed, with just distinguished families who are just having a great time, who are enjoying each other, who you could tell that the kids includes college students, had grown up together, and they were very welcoming of us and other people who friends had brought. And I just fell in love then. I was in college. And then over the years, I've had other times to come here. In particular, so I started my career at Essence. And very early in my career at Essence, I was working in the lifestyle department. And there's a photographer named John Pinderhughes, who he and his wife Victoria built a house out here in the early 90s. And we became friends when I first started working at Essence. And he invited my husband and me to come out to visit with them at their home. And we were like, wow, we're back. I hadn't been here in a while. And so we would come and visit them on occasion. And then over the years, we don't own, but we have rented in lots of places. In the Springs, in particular, we were there. And then we would always come here. It doesn't matter where we were. We would always end up on this beach because this felt like home. This is a tough question. What feels like home? Because it all feels like home. I created a business. I had a dream that I had a business soon after I moved to New York, which was in the 80s. No one in my family had a business. I knew from when I was 12 that I was going to be a writer, and I was interested in fashion. So writing is probably number one for me. But I had this vivid dream that told me all of these things that I was going to do that were really to help people step into their greatness. And so that's what I think my reason for being on the planet is. And how it happens is through writing, through coaching, through creating video like you're doing, through every form of expression that I have learned and developed to help people really believe that they deserve to live in their greatness. And that's every tool in my toolbox I use for that. Ooh. Great question. And I don't even know if I have the answer to what was the book. It's my parents. So my mother was a kindergarten teacher, and she had the most beautiful facility with language. She was always painting pictures with her words in the most positive way. And my father was a judge. He was an appellate judge. He was actually the first Black appellate judge on the Maryland Court of Appeals. They write the law. So I remember when I told him I wanted to be a writer, he says, well, you should be a lawyer. The best type of writing is a law. And I'm like, no, Daddy, I don't want to do that. But they were wordsmiths. So it's really, I credit my parents more than a book. They encouraged us to learn how to express ourselves clearly with as few adjectives as possible, which is what I do when I teach people writing. And I have been practicing meditation for more than 30 years, and that changed my life. I met my husband, and 5 months after we met, he invited me to go to a meditation intensive, which was a 2-day retreat. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. I don't know if I want to go to that, but something told me that I was going to spend my life with him. And something also said to me that he was going to change as a result of doing this, because he hadn't gone either. And so I went so I would know how to be with him after. Really, that's the story. And I had the most vivid experience in meditation. It was like I could see the story of my life on a screen, even though my eyes were closed. And what I saw actually were painful experiences, but it was the first time that I didn't experience pain. And what I recognized in that experience was that I used to write everything lowercase, like E.E. Cummings. And I would write about the lowercase self and an uppercase self in just my journaling. And it was the part of me that felt small and the part of me that felt great. And in this meditation experience, our teacher talked about the self, which is our connection to divinity, and that lives within us, as us. And it changed everything for me. So what I have discovered that works for me and works for many of my clients is, first, what is the big thing that you're trying to accomplish? What is it? Name it. And then, what are little steps that could lead you to completing that big thing? And write it down. The little steps have to be so small that you can actually accomplish one of them now. When you accomplish something and then you check it off, I did it, it gives you energy, it gives you confidence. Oh, I did that one thing, and then I can do the next thing. If you tell yourself the big thing and figure out the little steps, write them down and check them off, you will accomplish the big thing over time. And you will be so grateful and so proud of yourself. Happy summer, Sag Harbor, and enjoy my happy place.